All right, everyone. Let me get ready to go live on Instagram real fast. Let's see where we at. Where we at. Here we go. Here we go. So look, y'all. I'm Idris Talib. I'm a pretty house guy, and I'm actually the founder of a new company. The new concept that we're coming out with is shared living profits. So let me tell you what's so unique about this business model. This to me is the ultimate way for anybody to get involved investing in real estate. And basically, what I do is I have solved the retirement crisis by solving the affordable housing crisis. How exciting is that? So I want you to think about this. Imagine being able to solve all of your, oh, somebody calling y'all. Imagine being able to solve all of your financial challenges by being able to help people who need housing. And this is such a huge need in all of our communities, no matter where you are across the country. So right now, tell me, where are you located at? Just put down where you're located at. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from North Carolina. So what I always tell people is North Carolina raised me, but Atlanta adopted me. And I'm happy to be here. I grew up in Wilson, North Carolina. Then I went to North Carolina State. I was in Raleigh for about 8 years. Go Wolfpack. Y'all see us beat them Tar Heels up? Yeah. Yeah. We won an ACC championship in basketball. Now we're on our way to the NCAA tournament. I believe we played, I don't know if we played tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I'm happy for the Wolfpack. I was actually a walk-on the basketball team. And then I ended up moving to Charlotte. So I left college in 2003 and I stayed in Raleigh until 2006. Then I ended up moving to Charlotte and I stayed there to 2013 before I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And let me tell y'all, the first time I got involved in this business model, it was horrible. I hated it. I was actually flipping a house. So I got a good deal on the house now. So this was 2014, I want to say. I bought this house for 10,000 cash. So I bought it from a wholesaler. The guy that I bought it from, he told me, put about 15,000 into it, and then it should praise for over 100,000. I was like, okay, cool, make a lot of money. Anyway, I put the 15,000 into it. There was another $15,000 that went into it. And then at the last minute, someone had stripped out all the copper out of the house. There was another $5,000 I needed to put into it. And then I needed to get another contractor because everything wasn't like it needed to be. Nonetheless, the house did not appraise for what it should appraise for. And then I put so much money into the house. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just hold on to this house? And why don't I just rent out the rooms? So that's what I did. It was a 4-bedroom house. It only had 1 bathroom or whatever. Y'all, man, I'm telling you, renting out rooms is not for the weak if you don't have the right system in place. I didn't have the right system. I was just winging it. So what I was doing was I was putting ads out on Craigslist, and then I had bandit signs and everything that I was just posted up in the neighborhood. It was in the neighborhood. It was 30315. That's Lakewood, in the Lakewood part of Atlanta, South Atlanta. So nonetheless, man, it was. I was dealing with some stuff out there. But I'll tell you what, though, the thing that made it pleasant was the cash flow, y'all. I was getting paid every single week. And then I think I had, let's see, 2 of the people in there, they got like SSI or disability. So on the first of the month, I used to take them to the bank to cash their check. They give me my rent money and everything. I was good. And then sometimes towards the end of the month, they'll run out of money. They'll ask me, can I have $5 or $10 for some cigarettes or whatever? So I'll give them $5 or $10. He said, look, just take it out of my check or whatever. I said, okay, cool. But anyway, man, they were doing things like, so in the house, I had a washer and dryer in there. They invited their whole family over to do laundry. So it was different things I had to implement. I said, you know what? I'm going to put a stop to this. So what I implemented was it was 4 bedrooms. Remember, instead of everybody fighting over the laundry, because most people they wait to the weekend to do their laundry. I said, look, each of you get 1 day a week where you do laundry. Room 1, you're Monday. Room 2, you're Tuesday. Room 3, and you kind of get the message. Another thing that I did was in that house, I didn't have a big refrigerator in the kitchen because I didn't want anybody fighting for food. So what I did instead was I went to Walmart and I bought some micro fridge units. Like those little micro fridge units. It's like a little small freezer on top and a refrigerator at the bottom. I put those in the rooms because my biggest fear was I didn't want people fighting over food. So that's what I did and everything. And y'all, this house, it was electricity and gas. And you know how expensive gas gets during the wintertime. Oh my God. I got an $800 bill. I nearly freaked out and everything. So then I had to put a box up there. But nonetheless, I had that house for about, look, I can tell y'all some stories. I got some stories for y'all about that house. But anyway, I had a wholesaler come up to me and he said that, look, I have some buyers that really bought a lot of houses in this area. Is your house for sale? I said, make me an offer. So he made me an offer and I was like, okay, I think we can do this or whatever. I want to say, so let's do the math. I paid $10,000 for the house. I put about 40 into it. So I was in it 40. So I was in about $50,000. Okay. They were offering me, I think maybe 100, 110. I don't really remember the exact numbers. I'm like, 40,000, that ain't too bad. I'd have made so from a casual perspective, off of those 4 rooms, what was I getting, y'all? Because remember the house was all free and clear now. I want to say maybe I was talking about 600 per room. I don't know. This is way back in 2014. That's $2,400 cash flow. That's not a bad yield. $2,400 a month on a $50,000 investment. I mean, you think about it, I would say 2,400, 24 times 10 is 24,000, 24,000 times another 4,800 is like 28 on top of 50. I'm getting more than 50% ROI on my initial investment or whatever. So that's not bad. But it was just the constant going over there all the time. I lived about 45 minutes away. It was a hassle. I had this one lady. Let me tell you this one story. I had this one lady. She moved into the room and she was like, they used to call me Mr. Landlord. Mr. Landlord, I'm not able to pay rent or whatever. I think she told me her son was in jail and she had to post bond for him. I said, okay, make it up the next week. The next week, she came with some other excuse or whatever. And then the next week, she's like, you know what? I'm just not paying. I'm sick and tired of lying to you or whatever. You're just going to have to evict me. And I'm like, what? So I go off on her. Like, I'm going crazy on this lady. I end up calling the police or whatever. And then you all know how it is when the police come. The police is like, look, this is a civil matter. You're going to have to go to the courthouse, schedule a date, file an eviction and everything. Y'all, don't tell nobody this. I said, I ain't waiting no 6 weeks. I ain't doing that. So y'all gonna kill me when I tell y'all this. I know she's terrified of bugs. Let me tell y'all what I did. Man, I went and found some spiders. And I put them under that door. And yeah, she got up on out of there real fast and everything. I'm not saying it's right, but it is what it is. If spiders didn't work, I was going to go for some snakes. But I wasn't going to get no snakes that were going to bite her or anything. I was going to get those little, I don't know. I was going to figure it out. She was going to get out of there. I'm not waiting those 6 weeks. I'm sorry. Now I know other ways of being able to get people out of rooms without having to resort to those measures. But I didn't know that. I was just winging it back then. That was back in 2014 or whatever. So anyway, the wholesaler, we have closing schedule. So I go to closing and everything. Yeah, garden snakes. Yeah, you're exactly right, love. Yeah, garden snakes. Yeah, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just want to scare you. You know, most people don't like snakes. what is it, garden snake or whatever. Most people, I'm not gonna lie, if I see a snake, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna figure out what kind of snake it is because that I ain't about that life. Okay, I'm not about to strangle it. I'm not gonna kill it. I'm not gonna step on it. I'm just gonna get the hell on out of there. But anyway, um, closing happened, y'all. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, after closing costs and everything, I should walk away with about $35,000, $40,000. I already got the money spent. This money's allocated. I already know where this money's going, y'all. Y'all, I don't know what goes on in Atlanta, Georgia. Somehow, when the guy sold me the house, all the taxes, it was some water taxes. They weren't paid. There was like 18 or $20,000 in county water, city water. Like, man, I was about to kill the deal, but I was like, you know what? Forget it. Just give me my check. I only walked out with like $17,000. I was pissed off. I was supposed to have like 35, 40, whatever that number was and everything. But nonetheless, that was my experience, with the rooming houses. And after that, they called me the pretty house guy. I was doing all my nice houses, my $500,000, 800,000. That's what I was doing in real estate and everything. But nonetheless, I'll say probably about 3 years ago, or whatever, I was speaking at this real estate event in Tampa, Florida. All right. So I was talking about the pretty house business. So I meet this young lady. She was there. Oh, I've always wanted to be an investor. I said, okay, so tell me about your background and everything. She says, well, I have this one house or whatever, and I rent out rooms to people who have a mental health diagnosis and everything. And then I had another house that did the same thing. And she was telling me the numbers. And I was like, man, that's some good cash flow or whatever. So her and I got involved or whatever. So I would say about 15 months ago, we had an opportunity to, we're doing rental arbitrage. This house came available that we could rent. And I negotiated where we could rent out the rooms. There's a 4-bedroom house in Stone Mountain. This is crazy how this happened, y'all. So for that house, I want to say, I think that house is like $1,775 a month, but it's 4 bedrooms or whatever, okay? So we put up the security deposit, first month's rent, we got it furnished, and, rented that house out. I would say probably about a week or two later, there was another house that presented itself. Check this out, y'all. This house was a 6-bedroom in Marietta. It was an Airbnb, okay? So basically, it was an older couple. They got tired of doing Airbnb. Airbnb, there's a lot of fluctuations. You got to constantly clean it. You have that management staff. If they don't show up, you have to be the ones cleaning this stuff to turn it over for the next guest to come in. And they were an older couple. They say, you know what? We just want some guaranteed income. That's all we want. So, we talked to them. I think on that house is $2,500 a month. Here's the cool thing about that house. It was already fully furnished because it was an Airbnb, right? And then probably like a week or two later, we got a third house. This young lady, she had heard me on Clubhouse, and she lived in a DMV area. So she was in the DC area, and she bought a house in a suburb of Atlanta called Villa Rica. And she had it with a property management company, but they weren't able to get it rented out. Well, they weren't able to rent it out for what she wanted it rented out for. What happens is, in her neighborhood, her house was a new construction, but the other parts of the neighborhood was older, okay? So the rental comps weren't based off of the new construction prices. It was based off of the whole neighborhood. So she wasn't able to get what she wanted on a monthly basis. And I said, look, if you allow us to take over your property, we'll give you what you want. So I think on that house, we paid $2,000 a month for that house. That's a 4 bedrooms of new construction and everything. So we're able to get 3 houses in a span of like 3 or 4 weeks. So we're busy and everything. The thing about it is the cash flow started coming. And y'all, I realized I was making multi-family income off a single family residence. I didn't have to qualify for no loan because my credit was crap. I got me a credit repair person, so she done hook me up. But anyway, my credit was crap. And the best thing about it was, for some of the houses, we got paid every single week. So it really depends on the individuals that we bring into the house. So what I like to look for is individuals who have guaranteed income. That's SSI or disability. Okay? The thing I know about people with SSI and disability, they get that check every single month. Now, if you don't get your money, that means they mismanaging their funds, but they get that check. The problem with people who work is, especially if they're lower income and they get paid hourly, a lot of times their income is volatile. You know, for example, we have a lot of people, they do construction or they may do landscaping. And when it rains real bad, they're not working. When they're not working, they're not paid. And they work in a restaurant. And I know this because I used to own a restaurant. You know, when business is slow, I used to send my staff members home. So that means their check is short. When the check is short, I mean, you short. Or another thing that would happen is some of them, you know, they'll save up money because they're tired of taking a bus everywhere, and they'll save up to get a car. And, you know, they'll buy, you know, a little car for like $3,000 or $4,000. But we all know when you buy a car that's $3,000 or $4,000, there's going to be some maintenance and some problems with that car. So whenever there's a $400 or $500 job on that car, a lot of times they don't have no credit card and they don't have a lot of savings where they can just pay that with cash. That comes out of my money. And typically, once somebody gets behind, they're not catching up. Now, I will say we've had like 2 or 3 amazing people. I don't know how they were able to come out of that hole, but they dug themselves out of that hole. But typically, people, they're not able to build themselves out of the hole. The reason why I say this is the ultimate investment strategy nobody's talking about, I want y'all to really think about just the barriers of entry to get into this business model. Okay? So I'm offering landlords, people who own their own house, my offer to them is, look, I'm going to give you full market value for your house. Is that okay? Also, I'm going to take care of all maintenance and repairs for anything that's not under warranty. You're not coming over to unclog no toilet. You're not coming over to get no hair out of no sink. You're not coming over because the door handle comes off of the stove or the refrigerator. You're not responsible for pest control. You're not responsible for landscaping. I am. I'm going to give you guaranteed rent every single month. You're not going to go to eviction court because you're not going to be evicting anybody, because I'm going to pay my money on time, whether I'm at capacity or whether I have some vacancies. I'm going to pay that to you because that's how I make my money. The benefit to you, Mr. or Mrs. Landlord, you get to, if you have a mortgage, you get to have all the tax benefits of owning a house. You get to have that cash flow every single month that's paying down that mortgage, which means you're building up equity in your house. And we all know long term, you know, usually the value of the house is going to go up. So I'm helping you create wealth. Not only that, I'm putting people in your house with guaranteed income. Is there any reason why we cannot do business? Now, everybody's not going to go for it. It is what it is. But I tell you what, ain't that a lot easier than wholesaling? You find somebody with a house is worth $300,000, the ARV is $300,000. It needs about $60,000 of work or whatever. You offer them $120,000 for that house. They want $220,000 for that house, even though it needs $60,000 of work. So what's easier? You offer them market value for a house based off rental comps, or you getting a house 30 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar. Which one is easier? Here's another thing. Once I acquire the house, it's in high demand. We are in an affordable housing crisis here in this country. I don't care where you are in the country. People need safe, clean, affordable places to stay, period. And guess what? It ain't going nowhere. Do you think housing prices are going to go up or they're going to go down? Now, they could go down a little bit. They ain't really going down, though. I don't care where you are in this country. Housing prices are going to keep going up. Are people's income going up in relation to housing prices? As long as there's human beings on this planet, there's always going to be a demand for safe, clean, affordable housing. I don't care what happens to the economy. We can have a great economy. We can have a piss poor economy. We can have high interest rates. We can have low interest rates. Trump may win the presidency. Biden may win the presidency. I don't care. There's always going to be a demand for what we're able to offer. And that's the most beautiful part about this business and everything. And then now, so y'all hear me preaching and all this other stuff and everything. Let me show you some numbers. Let's get down to some numbers. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to share my screen with y'all so y'all can see how these numbers work. But before I preface that, one of the things that I started to think about was so strong with this business model is all of us up here, you know, I appreciate all 22 of y'all up here. You know, I got this thing on StreamYard, so it's my first time doing it. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I don't know where y'all from, but anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. The biggest thing is there's also another crisis. There's a retirement planning crisis. I'm 43 years old, okay? So I'm what you call, I'm in that sandwich generation. I got kids that I'm taking care of, and then I got parents that I'm taking care of and everything as well, okay? So with that being said, okay, I see you Precious down in South Carolina. Okay, yeah. I used to have some offices in South Carolina, but that's another story. I got jammed up. South Carolina, they don't play. I got jammed up down there. I'm gonna tell y'all that story another time. My man Chris up here, he know what I'm talking about. But anyway, where was I going with this? I forgot what I was telling y'all. That gone. What did I say? Oh, Philly in the house. Okay, I heard some good things about Philly. Georgia, okay. Georgia. Yeah. Indiana, man, it's cold as I don't know what up there. My father's in Cleveland. I used to go up to Indianapolis for a workshop, you know, twice a year and everything. Yeah, I done lost my train of thought. I'm from Charlotte, going back. You know what, Precious? Look, I was in Charlotte yesterday. My girls live up in. Oh yeah. Chris got me back on track and everything. Yeah. Parents and kids. All right, so check this out. Like I said, I was in the sandwich generation and everything. So when you get to my age, you start thinking about, well, shoot, you know what? I need to retire. And most people, when we think about retirement, we're thinking 65 to 70. But I want to be real with y'all. How many of y'all want to wait till y'all 65 and 70 to be able to kind of live the life of your dreams? I don't. I don't want to wait that long. But when you look at traditional financial planning, because I know most of y'all, you know, y'all do pretty well. You make at least six figures. You make close to, you know, $100,000 a year. You're going to need to save $2.5 million to pull out 4%, which is $100,000 a year. What if I can show you how with 4, 5, or 6 houses, you can generate enough cash flow that exceeds you saving $2.5 million. Now, I'm going to show that to you right now. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to share my screen. All right, share screen, entire screen. All right, I'm sorry. Hold on. I got I'm using this Mac, y'all. I'm used to a PC. Share screen. All right. All right, why can't I share? Oh, here we go. All right, so let me share my screen, y'all. Pull up this Excel spreadsheet. So check this out, y'all. So what I did was I just created an Excel spreadsheet that shows you how this business model works, right? So we're using a scenario to where there's 5 bedrooms in a house. Number of bedrooms, 5. Okay. You can have single occupancy. That means one person per room. Double room occupancy, 2 people per room, or mixture. Some rooms are 2 people, some rooms are 1 person. So based off of these, this is your income, your revenue you're going to generate. Room 1 is generally your owner's suite or master bedroom. So because you have your own bathroom, you're charging a premium. In Atlanta, you can get about $1,000 or more per month. Every other individual room, and all of them are probably sharing a bathroom, that's $800 a month for a room. Now, double room occupancy is $1,300. That's because there's 2 people in a room at $650 per bed. So you may be asking yourself, why in the world would anybody want to share a room? It's because they have to. Imagine if you get SSI or disability, you only get $900 a month for your check. You ain't about to spend $800. That's your whole check. You only gonna have $100 left over. Well, what if instead you're spending $650? Now you got $250, $300, $350 a month left over. That's a lot better, even though you may be sharing a room with somebody. And then the mix is some of the rooms are double, some are single. All right. When you add all of these up, this is our gross revenue, for a single room house with 5 bedrooms: $4,200, $6,500, $5,500. In terms of expenditures, we got rent, electricity, water, internet, garbage, pest control, landscaping, gas. You may have some other things, whatever. These are just arbitrary numbers. Our expenses are $2,700. So let's go to our profit. It's our revenue minus expenses. So for a single room occupancy, we are netting $1,500 a month. So I want you to think about traditional landlords. Typically speaking, they're only netting $200 or $300 a month after they pay all their expenses. We're getting $1,500. Oh, now look at double room, $3,800. And then the mix is $2,800. If we go down here, let's say your monthly income goes $10,000 a month. It's going to take you basically take you 7 houses at single room occupancy to generate $10,000 a month. Double room occupancy. Look, y'all, 2.3 houses. And the mix is 4 houses. So let me go back so I can see y'all. So I want to ask you a question. What's easier? You saving $2.5 million and living on 4% interest to generate $100,000 a month, or you're getting 4 houses that you can rent and rent out the rooms? What's easier? Even if you only get 1 house a year, in 4 years, you could be generating over $10,000 a month, y'all. That's $120,000 a year. Now, some of you may want to do more than that. Some of you get 4 houses in a year easily. Look, I just explained how we got 3 houses within 30 to 45 days. That's how serious this business model is. I'm going to be real with y'all. And I really need to do this. If I had all my systems and infrastructure in place, I'm not going to lie, I get a house every single week if I wanted to. I seriously can, especially here in Atlanta. I can literally get a house every week. That shows the opportunity, y'all. And I really want to share this opportunity with all of you and everything. Now, I'm not saying stop doing what you're doing and everything, but this gives you an opportunity so you have the cash flow to allow you to do what you truly love doing. So, for example, my girl, oh my God, she had this, I don't even know what year it is. She got this little convertible Mercedes or whatever. So I was driving it one night. Actually, I blame her for getting in this accident. So anyway, we had this resident. He was making a disturbance at the house and everything, all right, at one of our houses, which is not far from where we live at. It was about 15 minutes from where we live at. She said, can you go check on such and such? I said, man, I'm tired. I ain't doing nothing. And she kept getting in my ear. I said, oh, fine. Okay, I'll go. So it was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I don't remember. It was like before daylight savings. So it was dark outside. I'm driving down this road, and a car comes in my lane. I'm driving her car now. A car comes in my lane, and then I swerve, and then I kind of lose control a little bit. I go over the it's not a median. Anyway, I go over the thing or whatever, and boom, I hit a light pole. And I'm like, oh shoot, her car's total. And she going off and everything. It was a beautiful car, but it was a done deal. That car's dead. So anyway, I was like, okay, we'll just get another car and everything. And her car was I don't know, it was some special edition and everything. And you can't get this car down here. I said, okay, big deal. All right, I said, look, let's get you what you really want to drive and everything. And her thing is, she does not like car payments. She believes I'm going to pay cash for my car. I don't want a car payment. And I was just telling her, like, look, Genevieve, look, I get where you're coming from. No one wants a car payment. But it does not make sense. And her car, it was an older car. It was a used car. I said, it doesn't make sense for us to spend $30,000 cash on a car. For $30,000, I can go out and get 4 or 5 houses that produce $2,000 a month in cash flow. So let's do the math on that. Why would I put $30,000 into a car? Yes, it's paid off, but the car is going to keep going down in value as I drive that car. Instead, what if we put that $30,000, we put it into 5 houses that nets us $2,000 a month? That's $10,000 cash flow, y'all. You can drive anything on the street for that much money. And then not only that, you're going to have excess money. So basically, you're getting paid to drive a nice car. And here's a wonderful thing about that nice car. It's under warranty. So she kind of had to have a mind shift. So she's looked at some different cars. We haven't gone and got the car yet, but still. So that's kind of what we can do. Another thing, some of y'all have kids and everything. Instead of you saving money out of your paycheck to try to send your kids to school and everything, why don't you let one of these houses fund an account to send your kids to college? And here's the best part. If they don't go to college, they'll still have that cash flow coming in on a consistent basis. Maybe when your kids do go to college, instead of them having their own apartment and everything, you put them up like in a 4-bedroom or whatever. They stay in one room and they manage the other 3 or 4 bedrooms or whatever. And now they're getting paid, to oversee the individuals who are living in their home, instead of them asking you for money every single month. You tell them, look, this house right here is paying for you to go to school. And based off of how you manage this house, that's going to dictate how much money you have for your allowance and everything. Now, that's if you have boys. If you have girls, whatever, you got to give them girls that money, because you don't want no boy coming along giving no girl no money. I don't want that. I got a son and I got daughters and everything. My son, I'll let them struggle. My girls, you come to daddy if you need money. I don't want none of them little fast talking boys giving you money. We're not having that or whatever. But nonetheless, it just gives you so many options. Now, obviously, I've been talking about rental arbitrage, but long term, you do want to own some of these assets long term. Your goal is to actually own real estate. But just because you own real estate, it doesn't mean you have to kind of over leverage yourself and everything. So basically, let's just say your credit is horrible and everything. You can start making money right now while you're working on your credit, Because I mean, depending on how bad your credit is, it may take you 6 to 9 months before you have a decent score before you can qualify for financing. Well, why not get paid $2, $4, $6,000 every single month until your credit is straight? Then you can actually own some of these assets. So there's so many different ways that you can make money. That's why I call this the ultimate real estate investment strategy. And guess what, y'all? You don't just have to work with low-end individuals either. So we have a house, it's in Buckhead, which is a very prestigious area in Atlanta. I mean, what we do is we have a house, it's a recovery house for individuals who have cosmetic procedures. We charge them $3,000 to $5,000 every single week per person. All the referrals come directly from the plastic surgery center. It's wonderful. So obviously, you know, we do have some overhead and everything, you know, it is expensive, but at the same time, you know, our margins are substantial and everything. So you can get really creative with this or whatever. So, you know, I'm just so excited about this business model. You know, I have students all over the country right now, and things are just growing. Things are just growing or whatever. And, you know, if you want to talk with me or maybe have an opportunity to work with me, you know, we can definitely do that. Just, you know, whatever platform you're on, whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook or whatever, you know, just message me, Profits or whatever, if you want to have a conversation, and I'll send you a link to my website. We can book a call or whatever. But I see Facebook right now. If y'all have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask the questions. I'm not sure how to do it on YouTube or Instagram. Let me see if anybody has a question on Instagram. All right, so I can't see the questions on Instagram, but I can see them on Facebook. All right, so what I'm going to do is, you said, do you charge for mentorship? Yes, I do charge for mentorship. You know, but we're flexible. We do have payment arrangements and everything. So, you know, just inbox us or whatever, and then, you know, we can, you know, go over what we do. And then, you know, if you feel like it's a good fit for you, you know, we can figure out a way of how we can work together. I'll say that you said message by putting Profits. Yeah. Just send me a direct message or whatever. So I'm not sure. Well, I see that you are on Facebook. You can just send me a message to my messenger or whatever, Profits, and then I'll send you a link to my calendar, and then we'll book a call, and then, you know, we can kind of go over, you know, what are your specific goals. So I'm gonna tell you kind of my process of what I do. Okay, what I like to do is I went to school for engineering. I came out when the tech bubble burst, so I got into finance. Then I ended up buying a restaurant, then got into healthcare, made millions and millions of dollars with my medical practice or whatever. If y'all know my story or whatever. February 20th, 2018, I was in my condo. It was 2 a.m. I was in my condo in Atlanta. This loud knocking on the door. Boom, 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 boom. It woke me up. Fulton County Sheriff, open up. Anyway, out of South Carolina, that's what I tell you, South Carolina got something going on. It's not. But anyway, I had medical offices. I was in Raleigh, Charlotte, Greenville, Columbia, Williamson, Atlanta, as well as Marietta. 2 of my office Medicaid fraud was committed out of there. I had some therapists. They were actually documented that they were seeing patients, but we weren't. And we were billing on them. So that's Medicaid fraud all day long. So I couldn't fight the charge or whatever. I had to shut down my medical practice. They gave me 6 months to pay back $400,000. I was going through a divorce. Basically, I went broke. I wasn't able to pay back the money. I go in for sentencing from a judge. He sentenced me to 5 years in prison. I did 2 years. I lost everything. I lost everything whatsoever. Hold on, y'all. I had a call come in. So anyway, that was between 2018, 2020. I came out, I got out 6 months early. This was during COVID. It was October 31st or 30th, 2020, I got out. I had no money whatsoever. my mother, she had sent me a Walmart to Walmart transfer of $300. The first thing I did with that money was I went to Walmart and I bought a cell phone. It was one of those prepaid phones. It was a straight talk wireless phone for $69. It was some little Samsung Android phone for $69. And then I bought a calling card, like I guess you could load minutes on it or whatever. It was unlimited for like $55 a month or whatever. So that's what I did. And what I did with that was I turned that phone, this is an iPhone, more expensive phone, but anyway, I turned that phone into money. So what I did was, fortunately, when I was locked up or whatever, I used to teach people how to make money in real estate. I also used to teach in the education department. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of proud of this. Over the 2 years I was there, more people got their GED than anybody the whole time I was there because I'm academically gifted. But nonetheless, one of the correctional officers gave me a car to drive. So I went to go get a job somewhere, and it was at a staffing agency. And I asked them, I said, well, how much do y'all make? Because I know they get paid every day. They were like, well, you'll make about $70, but by the time the staffing agency takes their cut, you make $50. I was like, man, I ain't working all day for no $50,000. You got to keep in mind, even though I was incarcerated, I was doing between $60,000 and $100,000 a week, with my medical practice. So I'm used to, having a certain standard of living. So I said, nah, I'm not really interested in that. So I had to put my thinking cap on. So what I did was I drove all over Columbia, South Carolina, and people had bandit signs put out and everything. So what I did was I called every single bandit sign and I said, who puts out your signs? And I said, I'll tell you what. So what I noticed was the going rate for putting out signs was $2 per sign. So I just undercut the market. I said, look, give me $50 gas money. I'll put your signs out for $1 per sign. I need a minimum of $150 per sign. I made $1,000 in 3 days. So now I have some liquidity. And everything. Okay, you're in Columbia, Precious? Yeah, I know all about it. Broad River, all those little areas. So anyway, I put out those signs. I made $1,000. So that gave me enough money to get my Investor Carrot website put up. That was like $99 a month. And then I started posting some ads on Craigslist. So I was doing lease options. So what I did was, what did I do? I put an ad. I know. So this is in the middle of COVID when interest rates were low and housing prices were going real high. So anyway, I put an ad out. The ad said, good credit, bad credit, no credit at all. Rent to own your home in this award-winning school district. So I got all these people sending me messages about they want to get into a house on a rent-to-own basis. And then all I had to do was find people who had houses for sale and houses for rent and play matchmaker or whatever. I did that for about 3 weeks, and I was able to get my first $8,000 check, and I never looked back. So that's how I started my real estate thing. And I would say I spoke at an event in Tampa, Florida. This was July 2020. I spoke at an event in Tampa, Florida about the whole pretty house business and everything. And then I met my lady Genevieve down there. And she's the one who really put me on to this whole shared living thing. And that's something that she did. She wanted to learn how to flip houses, wholesale and everything. So I started asking her, I said, so what do you do in real estate? She said, well, I have this house and I rent it out to these ladies who have mental health disorders and everything. I said, okay, cool. And, I know a little bit about mental health. So anyway, I started doing the mathematics behind it. I was like, man, your cash flow really good. She said, yeah, I don't really need to work and stuff or whatever. So once we got together, we just went crazy with it. And the irony of it is, I'm talking about renting out rooms. When I got out of prison, I had to rent out a room. I didn't know anybody in South Carolina. I had to stay in South Carolina for 6 months before I could move back to Georgia. I had to rent out a room. And that room just to me, it kind of represented kind of like a new life for myself and everything. And from that room, I was able to meet the guy who owned the house. And I talked to him. I said, look, man, I know a little bit about real estate. I can kind of find you deals and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, he was stereotyping me. He's like, dude, you rent out a room. I said, you may want to Google me. So he Googled me and everything. He's like, oh man. And then he owned the Little Caesars and he owned the Subway. And this guy who used to do prison ministry who used to come talk to us named Michael McNeil, he owned a couple Subways. And I said, look, do you know Michael McNeil? He said, yes, I sold one of my Subways to him. I said, why don't you give him a call and get a reference on me? And then he called and Mike said, oh, Idris is out? So we talked and everything. So the guy was like, man, I really want to learn what you know about creative real estate. Check this out, y'all. I was paying, it was like $650 or $700 a month for a room, y'all. He had a house that he was rehabbing. It was about 90% complete, okay? He said, I'll tell you what, I'll let you stay in this whole house. You teach me how to sell it with seller financing or rent-to-own basis. Check this out, y'all. You can have this house for $300 a month and cover all the other expenses with the house. I said, bet. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. It wasn't the nicest, but I mean, I'm coming from prison, y'all. So it was nice enough and everything. I was only paying my expenses, man, I don't know, $500, $600, $700 a month. It was a whole house. So anyway, yeah, that was kind of my journey. And once I moved back to Atlanta, y'all, I mean, things just constantly took off. I did a podcast with one of my buddies, Jamel Gibbs, out of North Carolina. He interviewed me, and we were just talking about real estate. I said, you know where I've been the last 2 years? He said, no. And I told him my story. He said, we got to redo this interview, and it went viral. And then that's how I started getting coaching students. And then, this is just what I've been doing, over the past 2.5, 3 years, since I've been out. So that's kind of like a little bit, about what I've been doing and everything. But, the most important thing is, like, I started this, I had nothing going for me whatsoever. My credit was horrible. While I was gone, I didn't pay bills for 2 years and everything. So everything went to collections, judgments. I finally, like 3 months ago, got a lady, a credit repair person to kind of get all that stuff off. So I'm pretty solid. Well, after this month, I should be really solid. But anyway, that's kind of where I am right now. But this whole business model has just been, a complete blessing, from a cash flow perspective, money's good. I don't have any complaints. Now, I'm looking to, just take everything out of my head and then, just give it to people so they can, create some financial independence for themselves. Yeah, just send me a direct message or whatever, and I can send the credit repair person. She's out of Greenville, South Carolina. She's the real deal. She's the real deal. I got a referral from her from one of my brothers. He's y'all might know his name is Nassar, the real estate guru. So I've known him since he first got started and everything. Yeah. So y'all got any more questions about anything? Okay. Yeah, y'all just send me a message and everything, and I'll share her information. She's really good. She's really good. And I can show y'all screenshots of what she did to me. Oh man, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second.
Okay. Can you send it to Office 3?
Let me find it. All I know is, look, y'all. I went from like,
sure.
Let me see if I can find these screenshots. I went from like 530s, 5.6. So, of course, it's 3 credit bureaus. TransUnion, I went from like a 5, I don't know if it was 30 or 60 or whatever, to a 717 in 30 days. On Experian, I went from a 5 something to a 666 in 30 days. Now, Equifax was something different. Equifax, for whatever reason, wasn't posting. It was showing that I didn't have a score or whatever. That finally posted after 30 days to like It's like a 538. So that's what she's working on this month and everything. So I'm assuming that should be in the 6 or 7s later on this month. You say, what outlook do you have on doing the strategy in B class areas? All right, Chris. So, all right, so let's talk about that, Chris. In B class areas, here's the only caveat. Are there HOAs in that area? Okay, so let me tell you what I focus on. I like older working class areas that's not in the hood, no HOAs. And let me tell you why. Well, let me give you a caveat with that. When you're doing rental arbitrage, I compare, okay, I'm in St. Louis, no, okay, cool. So if that's the case, I will tell you, especially if you're going to be acquiring these houses like subject to or seller financing, that would be excellent because in a B class area, it's always going to be in pretty good demand. So that means the values are going to keep going up. That's the thing that I do like about B class areas. So the areas that I focus on are like more so B minus C. I don't go with D's and F's, but more so B minus to C is where I kind of focus on and everything. But B will be real good from an acquisition perspective because those areas are always high in demand and everything. So I do think those would be good areas. And the biggest thing is you just got to run your numbers. You're in Ohio, they require a license for unrelated purchasing. Is there a way around this? Demond, there is a way there is a way around it or whatever. So basically, with the Fair Housing Act or whatever, whenever you so the Fair Housing Act protects individuals based off of race, disabilities, all types of things like that or whatever. Okay. Federal law always trumps state and local law. Okay. If you have individuals in those houses who do have a disability and everything, they cannot be discriminated against, even if that is local law. That's the way. That's the way around that. So that's what I'll say. Now you're in a. You want to use your house, but you're in an HOA. It's a nice area. So what I will say with HOAs or whatever, you can try it. However, just be aware that if the neighbors start complaining and everything, it can become a problem, especially if you're violating the bylaws of the HOA, the homeowners association or whatever. So it is a risk that you can potentially take in everything, by doing this business model in an HOA community or whatever. So that there are potential risks. So even though you may want to use your house, you may want to go like if you don't want to take the risk, just go somewhere where there's not an HOA community. Where do you find the class of neighborhoods? Generally, what you can do if you want to find the class of neighborhoods, I assume you can probably Google it. Like put in a zip code. Well, even a zip code, the neighborhoods can really. So let me give you an example. All right, A-class areas are like super nice houses, new construction, brand new. Everything is like perfect and everything. B-class areas are a little bit under that or whatever. So new construction, 2023, 2024. A B-class area may be 2018, 2019, a little bit of wear and tear, but it's still pretty nice and everything, whatever. A C-class area is it's more than likely it's an older neighborhood, but they're still pretty much kept up. A D-class area it's mostly probably all rental. And then the F-class area, you don't want to be anywhere near. Crime, basically it's crime ridden. That's an F-class area. D-class area is probably some crime as well, but I would stay away from D's and F's. I would go C and above. yeah, blue collar factory workers. Those are the type of people that I like and everything. Checking zoning areas. Awesome. Thanks. All right. Mid higher rent areas where there's rentals, but yeah. Y'all, give me 1 second because I'm supposed to be somewhere. I'm on GPS. Let me just see how far I am from it. Where's the address? Give me 1 second, y'all. I got a GPS on these directions. Because y'all know this Atlanta traffic is stupid out here. All right, so I got an hour. All right, so I got about 10 more minutes, y'all. I got 10 more minutes. Jose, John, I don't understand. I don't speak English, and I don't know what that 700,000 mean, and I'm not messaging you on WhatsApp, so that's not happening, Jose. But anyway, I have about 10 more minutes, everyone. So any questions or whatever y'all have, let me know. But like I said, I'm going to try to, I'm not going to try. I need to just go ahead and make a commitment. I'm going to start going live on a consistent basis. My homeboy is challenging me to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. So the thing, like I said, is you don't have to know everything to get involved in this business. And I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Look, you're gonna rent out a house and you're gonna sublease rooms. Don't make it any more difficult than that. That's really what you're doing. Now, yes, there's some different intricacies and all of this other stuff that you can do or whatever. And we can kind of get into all of that or whatever, but don't overcomplicate this business model. Yeah. That happens, Chris. So when you're doing people who get SSI or disability, Chris, a lot of them don't have cars. So y'all, here's another thing. Depending on the population that you're looking at, you may want to find something near public transportation. So make sure there's some bus stops, in the area if you can. So the closer it is, the bus stops, the higher in demand it's going to be, and the more money you can charge. Okay, hey Leslie, how you doing? The more money you're going to be able to charge, if there is access to public transportation. But there's like I said, there's always a demand. I'm grateful. What did you do with that first 8,000? All right, so with that $8,000, someone's asking, what did I do when I made that first $8,000? So the first thing that I did was I had this old car. It was a pretty good car though. I had this is crazy, y'all. Y'all, man, my ex-wife could spend some money. Lord, I hope none of y'all gonna tell her. I don't care. She knows she spend money. But anyway, before we got married, we had this beautiful wedding. It was expensive as I don't know what. That thing was like $40,000. But anyway, the week before we were supposed to get married, her mama's car broke down. So I had to go get another car. And I had spent all this money on the wedding or whatever. And at my bank was BB&T. They gave me like a 3-point-something% interest rate. However, I had to put some money down on the car. I went to CarMax, and they were giving me rates like 9-10%. I said, look, I got a 700 credit score. I'm not paying no 9-10% for no car. So anyway, I don't even remember how much money I had to put down. It was a Toyota Camry anyway. It was a Toyota Camry, nice, dependable car. So with that $8,000, what I did was I had to put $2,000 into that Camry, and then the rest of the money, what did I do with that money? I bought some clothes. I did take a little trip, and then the rest of the money I kind of saved as kind of operating capital to continue to grow my real estate business. So that's what I did. Okay, what systems do I have in place for screening? All right, so let me tell you this, Chris. When I'm doing lower income individuals, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Man, I don't run no credit checks. I know they all got bad credit. Now, if I'm doing more so middle class, or I'm doing like my lease options and stuff, I do use screening. So I either use my smart move, which is free for you. You can make the cost go to the resident. So my smart move is free. It's owned by TransUnion. And then I have the software platform that I use. It's my business management. It's a tenant management platform. It's tenantcloud.com. So that's what I use for that. How do you find what the need or niche is for your area? What I would suggest is you do general population, and then you can figure out what your niche is going to be. Because with general population, you're going to be getting contact with all types of people. And then based off that, that's going to help you determine where the demand is. Okay. But y'all, I have to get ready to run because I got to run up north real fast and I can't be late or whatever. So look, thank all of you for coming on to this live. Please share it. Please like it. Did I get any loans or grants to put aside for maintenance or expenses? No, Zara. So everything has been funded with cash. Now, I did bring in a private money person one time. I needed to borrow, I just need some liquidity or whatever. I need to borrow. So for that house I was telling you about, that was that Airbnb house in Marietta. I borrowed $10,000 from somebody and I paid them back 20% over the course of the year. So I did do that for that house. Oh, okay, Lacrea. Is it Lacrea? Okay, yeah, see you in Atlanta. I can't wait. I can't wait. But yes, I am going to save and I'm going to record this. And yeah, just stay in touch, whatever. And I'm going to be doing this on a consistent basis, okay? So I got to get ready to head up north. But I appreciate all of y'all. You know, please like, share, save, and everything. And then, you know, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.